You're live now.
Okay. Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Monte Belk, and I'm here to have story time with you today. And we're gonna start out with a fun book, and I'm gonna need your help. Okay? I'm gonna need your help to help me read this book. This story is by Allison Jackson, and the pictures or the illustrator is Judith Byron Shackner. And I want you to look at the fun pictures that she's drawn. The name of this book is I Know an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Pie. And some of you may be familiar with another book and also a song. There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. And that's a fun story to read too, and a fun song to sing. So maybe your mom can help you find that book and find that song, and y'all can sing it together. But as we go through it, I'm going to want you to kind of help me, okay? All right, we're going to get started. I know an old lady who swallowed a pie. I know an old lady who swallowed a pie. A Thanksgiving pie was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. Okay? I know an old lady who swallowed some cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled inside her. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie, which was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. Okay, do you see where I'm going to be needing you to help me? When I say perhaps she'll die, I want you to chime in at home with me, okay? I know an old lady who swallowed a roll. Just swallowed it whole, the entire roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled inside her. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie, which was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a squash. Oh my gosh, a fat yellow squash. She swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled inside her. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie, which was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a salad. She was looking quite placid while eating the salad. She swallowed the salad to go with the squash. She swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled inside her. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie, which was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. Her future looked murky after that turkey. She swallowed the turkey to go with the salad. She swallowed the salad to go with the squash. She swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled inside her. She swallowed the cider to moisten the pie, the Thanksgiving pie, which really was too dry. Perhaps she'll die. I know an old lady who swallowed a pot. Notice how she's changing in size. Look at that big pot. I kid you not. She swallowed a pot. She swallowed a pot to go with the turkey. She swallowed the turkey to go with the salad. She swallowed the salad to go with the squash. She swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled inside her. She swallowed the cider to go with the pie, the Thanksgiving pie, which was really too dry. Perhaps she'll die. Look at all these people. They just don't know what to think, do they? For goodness sakes, a 10-layer cake? Ooh, that's a lot of cake, isn't it? Uh-oh, pages are sticking. She swallowed the cake to go with the pot. She swallowed the pot to go with the turkey. She swallowed the turkey to go with the salad. She swallowed the salad to go with the squash. She swallowed the squash to go with the roll. She swallowed the roll to go with the cider that rumbled and mumbled and grumbled inside her. She swallowed the cider to go with the pie, the Thanksgiving pie, which was really dry. Perhaps she'll die. Woo-wee, look at her. What has happened to this old lady? Pages stick. I know an old lady who swallowed some bread. I'm sorry, the pages are sticking. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm full, she said. Okay? Did you notice that this is a fun book? This is a rhyming book, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I want to thank you for helping me read this book. And I hope that you'll come to Reads and pick you up a copy. Okay? The next book that I have is The Great Pumpkin Contest. Now, I bet all of you have probably been in some kind of a contest of some sort. And what do you think this contest is going to be about? That's right, it's going to be about a pumpkin. But it's also a book about friendship and how we can grow our friendships and how we can make new friends. The Great Pumpkin Contest. The leaves were beginning to change color. The air had become brighter and colder, and the change in the season from winter to fall was time for Cat Country's Great Pumpkin Contest. So you see all these cats? Okay? You see all these cats out there? I don't know why these book pages are sticking on me today, but they are. In the little country lived two cats, as different as could be. Mimi spent her days reading stories about cats who were bold, smart, and loved. Sometimes she wished she had a friend. Clara preferred to be outside, tending her garden and having tea parties. Both wanted to win the first prize ribbon in the Great Pumpkin Contest. Earlier that summer, Mimi had read all the books, and she had formed a plan. Just look at all these books that Mimi has out here that she's been using. She found the sunniest spot in her garden, made sure it was away from the wind, added just the right plant foods, and then dug tiny holes and planted her pumpkin seeds. And see, she's out there, busy girl. Next door, Clara had happily planted her pumpkin seeds all over her garden. Before long, her pumpkin patch was filled with lots and lots of little pumpkins. Just look at all these little places where she dug a hole and she put her pumpkin seed in there, and they're beginning to grow. Look who's peeping over the fence. Wonder who that is. Clara peeped at Mimi's pumpkin patch. There was one pumpkin that was getting very big and round. "Wow," said Clara, "your pumpkin looks amazing. How did you make it grow so big?" "I read lots of books," said Mimi. "Very smart," said Clara. She went back to tend her crop of little pumpkins. Okay, now Mimi has a big old pumpkin right here, and Clara's got a bunch of little pumpkins over here growing. Clara's pumpkins grew too. Boy, look at that beautiful garden. She has done a good job taking care of her garden, hasn't she? All kinds of flowers and trees, pumpkins. Soon it was time for the Great Pumpkin Contest. But how was Mimi going to get her enormous pumpkin to the fair? Wow, what kind of word is enormous? What do you think enormous might mean? Enormous means big. You can see these big, enormous pumpkins. She tried pushing it and pulling it, but it was no use. The pumpkin was too big. If only there was another way. What's another word for big? That's right, enormous. Ta-da! A wheelbarrow. It was perfect. Mimi rode her gigantic pumpkin to the cart and set off for the fairground. She couldn't wait for everyone to see, to admire her pumpkin. Looky there, there's another word for big. Gigantic. So we've learned 2 new words today that means big. Gigantic and what? That's right, enormous. Ooh, look at that gigantic pumpkin in her wheelbarrow. Somebody's going along for a ride. Looks like her little friend, a snail. Clara stacked up some of her beautiful little pumpkins and headed to the fair too. She was so very proud. The road was into town was bumpy. The pumpkin wiggled and jiggled, so Mimi's giant pumpkin began to tip. It tittered and it tottered and look out for that pothole, Mimi. Oh no! Everybody's faces, they know what's coming, don't they? She does too. It rolled right out of that rickety cart with an enormous thud, splat, kablooey. The whole town was covered in Mimi's giant, gloopy, sloppy pumpkin. Mimi was horrified. She ran back home and hid. Poor thing, all that hard work. Look at that. That is so sad. There were pumpkin guts everywhere. Who will ever want to be my friend now? Later that day, Mimi heard a knock at her door. It was Clara. I brought you a pumpkin, even though it's not so big. Maybe next year you could show me your pumpkin growing secrets, she said. Mimi slowly smiled and said, yes, I would like that. They're becoming what? They're becoming friends. Mimi sat and stared at Clara's pumpkins, and soon she formed a new plan. She's a problem solver, isn't she? She's always coming up with ideas. The next day, Mimi went down to the fair. She had a surprise for Clara. Now let's think, what do you think that surprise might be? Let's think about that for just a second. A first prize pumpkin they would enjoy together as friends. They've got on their ribbons and everybody's saying, perfect, positively splendid, it's a cat's meow. What did she do to make that a first prize pumpkin? She carved out pictures of Mimi and Clara as friends. So they shared their friendship, they shared their prize. This is the life cycle of a pumpkin. First we begin with what? We begin with seeds. Then we put it in some dirt and it begins to sprout. And you can see how it's beginning to grow out of the ground. And as it grows and grows, there's a flower that forms on the vines that grow from that one little seed. Then it continues to grow, and look, a little green pumpkin begins to grow. And over time and water and sunshine, it grows and grows and it becomes this beautiful orange pumpkin. And this is the life cycle of a pumpkin. I hope you enjoyed this book. This book is by Angie Rosalara, and this is a good book about friendships and growing those friendships together, just like they grew their pumpkins. All right, our last book is Night Night Pumpkin, and this book is by Amy Parker, and it is illustrated by Virginia Allen. Night Night Pumpkin. The cooler winds whistled in. The leaves all danced and glowed. Fall is making its grand entrance, putting on quiet the show. The trees have all changed their clothes to gold, orange, red, and brown. The leaves wave in the cool, crisp wind, then whirl down to the ground. Night-night trees. Some of you may have noticed the trees around you, how they're changing and the leaves are falling. When the leaves are on the ground, that's when the fun begins. We rake them into giant big piles and jump again. Night-night leaves. Have you ever made a pile of leaves and jumped in them? My brother and I did that when we were little, and it was so much fun. Over in the pumpkin patch, there was one as big as me. When Mom and I mixed and make a yummy pumpkin treat. Ooh, look at all these pumpkins. Night-night pumpkins. He's got a big one, doesn't he? All the family gathers around to say to God, thank you for all that He has given us and for His family too. See if they got their heads bowed. Night-night, family. They have a good feast, don't they? We were running through the fields of corn while it swishes and sways and giggles as we twist and turn through the topsy-turvy maze. Night-night corn. Have you ever been through a corn maze? They're a lot of fun. As the birds sing overhead, we sing from the apple tree to pick apples juicy and red, the perfect snack for me. Night-night, apples. We snuggle up together in hay piled up this high. The tractor rumbles soft and low. Cows moo a lullaby. Night-night, cows. Look at that beautiful cow. Oh. Then Grandpa reads the story of how long, long ago God made the stars and seasons too, and how He loves us so. Night-night, God. Then as Mom turns out the light, it blows a crisp fall breeze. She pulls the covers way up tight and gives a gentle squeeze. Night-night, pumpkin. Night-night, pumpkin. That's a very good story, and it has a lot of good messages. And if anyone in your family has ever called you pumpkin, that's a term of endearment. And that means that they really, really, really love you. And it's a term that you can use to maybe say that to somebody in your family that's really special to you, is to call them pumpkin. I hope you enjoyed our story time. I hope that you have seen a book that you would like to get for your collection. And I hope you have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining us today. Bye-bye.